Excuse me, Bobby. Good morning.
I got about 3 more to go. I got like 3 more to go. They come in clusters.
You hanging out for the rest. I do you. We heard about a road bill.
I know.
All right, welcome. I think we're getting close to having enough for a quorum, so if the clerk will call the roll.
Senator Barfoot. Here. Senator Carnley. Here. Senator Coleman. Here. Senator Elliott.
I'm here.
Senator Hatcher.
Here.
Senator Hovey.
I'm over here.
Senator Jones.
Here.
Senator Kitchens.
Here.
Senator Livingston.
Here.
Senator Price.
Here.
Senator Roberts.
Here.
Senator Singleton.
Here.
Senator Smitherman.
Here.
Senator Wagner.
Here.
Senator Williams.
Here.
Senator Shelnutt.
Here. All right, we have 16 members present. I think that's enough for a quorum. Welcome to non-controversial day in B&I. First up, Senator Melson with SB 43. Welcome, Senator Melson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill, and I have a substitute, if I could get you to offer that has the 2 amendments in it. Instead of worrying about the amendments, it just includes them, and it kind of cleans it up. So
I have a motion by Senator Livingston to, and a second by Senator Williams.
Not ready.
Uh-oh, we have a not ready. Senator Smitherman.
Please tell us what they do. I mean, you know, this.
I will.
I mean, no throwback or nothing, but I
Sure.
mean, this is the first time I have heard of it. Well, last time I seen it. So I like to know what I'm getting ready to quick vote on in this.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think you'll like this bill. I guess you need to take your vote on the substitute, but
You want to explain the
Yeah, we need to
substitute to him?
explain. if
Okay,
you
well, I thought we were
would.
going to work off that, but I understand, Mr. Chairman. This bill simply says that if you're a healthcare provider and you work for somebody like a hospital or like a nursing home or other healthcare provider, then you cannot be a gag order in that contract that keeps you from discussing and having a transparent relationship with the patients. So in other words, if, let's say I'm an orthopedic and the contract has a hospital has a contract with certain total joint or some other orthopedic material, but I think that this patient should be using a different brand. In that situation, then you would say, hey, look, I could say the contract doesn't provide this and you need to probably go somewhere else instead of being forced by the hospital to use that particular hardware. So in other words, anything, like if I said this antibiotic's probably best for this problem, then I would, to the patient, but the hospital doesn't have it on formulary, I could say, hey, that's cost prohibitive for this particular healthcare provider, and I need to recommend that you use this antibiotic because you have this particular infection. So it just gives you complete ability to do it without any repercussions from your contract. You know, we're going more and more to healthcare providers, doctors and others being hospital employees. And so this allows you to continue to talk to your patients freely without any repercussions based on the limiting factors that might be in your contract.
All right, that's one amendment. What's the other one? Because you said it was two.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
One of the professional organizations wanted to make sure they were included, which was optometrists.
Oh, okay.
They want to be
Okay.
treated like everybody else.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I mean, it was covered, but they want to make it spelled out.
All right. All right, we've had a substitute
Second.
introduced and a motion by Senator Livingston and a second by Senator Williams to adopt the substitute. All those in favor, we need to get a roll. Sorry. If the clerk will call the roll.
Senator Barfoot. Senator Carnley. Senator Coleman. Senator Elliott.
Aye.
Senator Hatcher. Senator Hovey. Senator Jones. Senator Kitchens. Senator Livingston. Senator Price. Senator Roberts. Senator Singleton. Senator Smitherman.
Aye.
Senator Wagner. Senator Williams. Senator Shelnutt.
Aye. All right. The substitute for SB 43 is adopted. I have a motion to give it a favorable report by Senator
Second.
Kitchens and a second by Senator Smitherman. But I have a question first from Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to, I have to be true to me and how I deal with substitutes. And I just for clarity sake, the description that you gave to Senator Smitherman, that was the difference between the two bills, the substitute, and I just want to make sure that I've heard
Yes.
what's the difference between the original version that we had in advance and the substitute that we got today.
Yes, and one other thing I want to make clear is that initially it was kind of more toward insurance companies, and it doesn't need to be just insurance companies. It needs to be any employer for a healthcare provider needs to be able to not have a gag clause, so your provider can give you an answer, not worried about any repercussions based on cost or anything. Just allows you to have a transparent relationship with your patient.
And I'm all for that, doctors having the ability to treat the patient the way they need to treat the patient. I just wanted to make sure that I had to, y'all please excuse my voice. I'm still trying to get it back. I guess I don't know, talk too much or something. But yes, that is the clarity that I needed just to make sure that I understood the difference. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
And thank you, Senator.
Senator Smitherman, did you have a question?
Just I have a question. You raised another question in my mind when you mentioned, when she asked the question you mentioned about the insurance. Does this bill address the fact, because I hear what you're saying when you talk to them and recommend something else. So now you talk to them, and I say you because you're a doc. You talk to them and recommend them something else. Now, you got the insurance company over here. They got this little panel of drugs, and you can only get you know how someone said generic, not generic, and all that old stuff that they trying to, you know, them folks who we dealing with in the middle of this whole process. Then what happens to you telling me I need to get this antibiotic, okay, and here it is over here that you're telling me I can get this and A, B, C, or D. We passing this bill, okay, to do what you recommend. Now here the insurance company say, yeah, they can tell you all they want to, but we ain't gonna do it. Does this bill touch them?
No, it does not force the insurance company or anybody to provide the medication they recommended. And there always is some type of substitute for a more cost efficient or whatever reason. This bill is just to say that I'm going to tell you what I recommend. Here's your alternatives that the hospital may have on formulary. And then you got to make a decision as you're being a patient that you either need to go somewhere else to get what I recommend, or you're just satisfied with an alternative. But my recommendation may be to take a certain antihypertensive or a certain antibiotic. And an alternative might be, in some people's minds, just as good. But as a healthcare provider, I'm going to make this recommendation. And I'm not going to just avoid telling you what you need based on a contract that says I got to do whatever's on formulary and things like that. So in other words, I got a right to speak my mind and tell you what I think's best for you with no repercussions. And that's all I'm wanting to do.
So if we put, you know, how we have the call bills, certain people names, you know, like, now, so should we call this the doc bill?
Well, it's
it seems like it just really this bill designed to protect doctors to do what you just said, because we're not going to alter the insurance company implementation of what the doctor said if they got set rules. Yeah. So it's not going to impact that, and you know, the person, that just be kind of realistic, and especially in 2025, they ain't gonna be able to afford nothing outside of their insurance. I give them the right to go get what you said if it's altered over here, but they ain't gonna be able to pay for it. So what we're saying is that really the doctors want to have free reign to be a doctor. If they want to make a recommendation that may be contrary to what the business people of the hospital or whoever they signed the contract with says, that you've got to be limited in doing this and that scope. They want to have a broader ability to be able to share alternatives to people regarding these situations. Would that be a fair assessment?
That's a fair assessment, but I will say any healthcare provider, whether it's a nurse practitioner or an optometrist or a podiatrist or anybody, they need to give their expert opinion on what you need and not be handcuffed by a contract.
Well, we're not disagreeing with that, but I just want to say for what I see, I thought it was something else, this bill. Mm-hmm. Now I kind of see it's in the line with what I'm saying, and I still support second and voting for it. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second to give the substitute a favorable report, SB 43, using previous rule, if no objection. Seeing none, the substitute SB 43 receives a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right, moving right along. Next one, HB 262 by Representative Ellis. This is a Department of Insurance housekeeping bill. All it does is correct those internal citations that refer to correct sections in the Code of Alabama.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Move favorable report.
I got a favorable by Senator Smitherman, a second by Senator Roberts. Using previous rule, if no objection. Seeing none, HB 262 receives a favorable report. Moving right along, HB 261 by Representative Ellis. I believe this is the companion bill to Senator Kitchens we've already passed in our last.
What did it do?
Senator Kitchens, if you'll give a brief explanation.
Yeah, this
Birthday
is the same, this is the same bill that we had a couple of weeks ago. It deals with surplus lines. So if
what's a surplus line? That's what I saw.
So
that
it really, where that's going to come into effect, it's going to be something, and Senator Carnley will know about this too, but probably more so than I do, but a lot of along the coast areas. So if you can't get insurance, you're more than likely going to have to go to a surplus lines carrier, mainly in your coastal areas. Flood insurance, there's some other things that can fall into that, but really affects those coastal areas. So if you've got a company that's outside, it's to make sure that we follow the same standards. It's a Department of Insurance bill, and everything mirrors exactly what we had in the Senate version.
Senator Carnley, should I vote for this? Should I vote for this?
Yes, Surplus Lines Company is a company that's a non-admitted carrier in Alabama. They don't participate in the risk pool. And so what they do is you go to these carriers and they provide insurance where an admitted carrier will not. And
So if I'm gonna be through, Mr. Chairman. So this, if the scenario in which my wife mentioned exists, then I'll be trying to get this insurance. At her retirement, she said that they asked what her end goal was gonna be. She said to get a breakfast and pancake business at down on the Gulf, and cook breakfast and pancakes to 12. And get on the beach from 12 to 8. And so I need some insurance since my husband going to probably move down there. So I need this insurance.
You will. Does she need a cook?
Come on. We all can
I'll
throw
apply.
that out. All good enough. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Second.
I got a motion by Senator Williams and a second by Senator Smithman to give HB 261 a favorable report using previous role of no objection. Seeing none, HB 261 receives a favorable report. All right, we're going to skip that bill by Senator Shelnutt since we've already just passed the House version and they seem to be ahead of us.
Why not? Pass yours.
Hey,
The House may not get a chance to move.
you think so?
Well,
I
all
wanna
kind of
give- I wanna give them
possibilities.
credit.
Senators may get it moved before that move, depending on what they're going to be doing
No,
down there the rest of this session.
I'll
Y'all
go-
know that. I've been with some of y'all for 10, 15 years. You know how I can get it. You know.
right,
You know how I can get down there
All
sometimes.
right, I got a motion by Senator Williams to give SB 151 a favorable report.
Second.
By Senator Smithman, using previous role if no objection. Seeing none, SB 151 receives a favorable report. Thank you, Senators. Next bill on the calendar is HB 106 by Representative Brown. I believe Representative Brown is here, and this is, if I'm correct, Senator Sessions has already passed this bill out, the companion bill in the Senate, but go ahead, Representative Brown. Oh, I got a favorable by Senator Roberts and a second by Senator Elliott
I'll be ready, man.
and Senator Smithman, if you want to be recognized.
Just remember, show us the same love. I showed you love twice today. This is the second time, so I want you to remember. And and I'm speaking for everybody up, and I don't just saying give me some love. They need a little love too when we send stuff down there. That's all I want to say.
Senator, I don't ever forget.
All right,
Never
good
forget my
enough.
friends.
All right.
All right, well, I got a motion and a second. So SB, which one? We're on HB 106, using previous role with no objection. Seeing none, HB 106 receives a favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Thank you. Great job. Next bill on the calendar, SB 190 by Senator Livingston, Honorable Senator Livingston.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This simply is a bill that allows early prostate detection for under the age of 40, and it has a substitute that is on there that had some technical corrections in there that needs to be adopted first. So
We have a substitute offered by Senator Livingston, a motion by Senator Hatcher, and a second by Senator Smitherman. Using previous role to adopt the substitute, if no objection.
Not an objection, just making a statement, Mr. Chair, if I'm recognized, that
Go
we
ahead.
at least understand what are the differences.
Before we vote on, yes, before we vote on, yes. All right, so using previous role, the SB 190 substitute is in play, and Senator has adopted
So
Senator
the
Livingston.
two additions are, one is the word under age of 40 that was changed in there, and the other adds language that any plan or health benefit offered by a nonprofit agricultural organization. So that's the simple changes.
Senator Smithman.
I want to thank you, Senator Livingston, for bringing that and including those. I was a part of the group here in the Senate that actually got it passed where the insurance started doing it in the very beginning. They used to wouldn't do it. You would not be covered by that on the insurance. And we fought like what on that flow and to get that done. And these were concessions that we had to make in this area to first get it done. So I'm proud of you bringing it back and pulling everybody else into that fold. So I just wanted to tell
Thank you,
you that.
Senator. I actually have a constituent that had an issue with this, and if he had been called a little quicker, he might still be around. So.
Thank you.
All right, I got a motion by Senator Williams and a second by Senator Livingston to give the substitute a favorable report using previous role if no objection.
No objection, but I do.
All right.
Let that lawyer.
It's to the sponsor on the second part of the amendment. Do we have an agricultural entity right now that is offering that health insurance? I know we've had a entity come before us that is trying to pass something, but does that exist to this currently?
No, it doesn't exist yet.
So we're putting an amendment on in anticipation that is going to exist.
Just in case.
Got a little evaluation.
All right.
Lord, just the stuff
SB
that we do here.
190, using a previous row of no objection. Seeing none, SB 190, substitute receives a favorable report. Thank you, Senator Livingston. Moving right along, SB 212 by Senator Carnley. Senator Carnley.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a bill that makes changes to current law for real estate, addresses some issues. One of them is dealing with bad checks or incorrect payments and allowing the person the opportunity to reconcile that without having to go before a hearing. Clarifies the terminology of who a dual agent is, makes that clear. Also sets some limits on a residential contract, to keep somebody from having a perpetual a listing contract, sets the term of the contract up to 1 year. There's, you would know this better than I, but in real estate, there are more and more where we're seeing teams that are working together. And what this does is it defines those teams and that they work under a single broker and that they have to list the broker that they're working for. They can't go out and say, hey, we're the Josh Carnley team, but, Josh Carnley's not a broker. So defining that. It also allows a real estate agent who operates under a broker at one branch, because each branch has to have a qualifying broker that operates that branch. If you work for that same broker in Birmingham and then you go to Huntsville, it allows you to operate under that broker's contract. So,
Got a motion by Senator Williams to give SB 212 a report and a second by Senator Livingston, but I got a question or a comment by Senator Smitherman before we take that vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm gonna vote to get this out of committee, and I'm just gonna be very frank about it because I got a lot of confidence in what you said. I want you to understand that you are the reason, and it could be the senator of that one. But if you said that, I would have a confidence in it. I do have some problems, and I got some problems as much as they want to come with the point that we trying to get unified in these areas and whatnot. It ain't no unification that I guess should be in that organization. It's not. So, it makes me think I'm hearing from this angle one side of the organization. And I'm not hearing the unified effort of the organization as a whole, the industry as a whole. I should say that to the organization as a whole. There are other entities such as NARAD and other entities, I'm talking about state organizations, that I ain't heard from, I don't know if they've had conversation with them to get their input, and then this is a joint effort by them. I don't know that. The division that I've seen would not make me think on my own that that's the case. So my message to them is, first of all, get y'all house in order, and then communicate to everybody who's those other organizations as well, okay? Because one of the chapters of NARAD is in Jefferson County. So I know what I'm saying to y'all. This ain't something I'm making up or visualizing. There are problems. You may not know, but there are major problems. And those problems have to be addressed, because we're talking about the whole industry here. We're not just talking about the one side of the industry. So, although I'm going to vote for it to come out of here, I need to know from them through you. They don't want to talk to me, they ain't got to talk to me. But I want to know that is done. I will talk to them. But remember, this bill, ain't not a one of them came by and said nothing to me. They know my involvement in being concerned about this over the years. Not a one person that addressed themselves in my office. And so all those things still exist, what I just said. And and it's very important that those things are addressed before we lock everybody in the state into this, the way it is. And then, of course, there's no room for them to give input. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So, Mr. Chairman, just to his point, you said something that I agree with a lot in another committee that I'm in with you about. For 31 years you've been here, and your word is your word, and that's my word to you, is that we'll work through this and sit down together with the appropriate parties before we go forward with anything to make sure that you're satisfied with this. So I'll give you my word on that.
I appreciate it, and I would request that if we do it, let's bring Senator Kelly in. He's a real estate man too. Let's bring him in on this. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, seeing no further questions, SB 212, using previous role, if no objection. Seeing none, SB 212 receives a favorable report. Thank you, committee members. Great job. See y'all next week.